What's up guys, Moniz here. So I'm just heading downtown right now to meet up with Microsoft to check out their brand new mixed reality headsets. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with mixed reality, it's basically taking virtual reality and augmented reality and putting it all in one headset. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with augmented reality, imagine the HoloLens, which is another Microsoft product, which basically you put it on your head, you can see your physical surroundings and then implement it with virtual objects. So I can be staring at this street over here and all of a sudden, a big giant comes out of the road, but obviously it's not real because you're in a virtual augmented world. Now, based on the first reviews that I've seen of Microsoft's mixed reality headsets, it looks to be more virtual reality than mixed reality, but I think the whole idea is to combine it together sometime down the road. This is it. I thought I was going to be late, but they're still setting up. Alright, so we're back in the Uber. I'm heading back to the studio. Just left the Microsoft mixed reality demo. Left away feeling pretty impressed. I love the experience. A lot of cool things I want to talk about. I'm going to start off with the headset itself. Now, there are a bunch of different headsets to choose from. So you have one from Dell, you have one from HP, you have one from Acer, so on and so forth. They all pretty much do the exact same thing, but have their own unique design. The controllers are standard, so no matter which headset you buy, you're going to get the exact same controllers. So think of having like a mouse and keyboard for your computer that comes standard. It's the same concept. Microsoft wants their own proprietary controllers so that the experience is going to be equal across the platform. Have a great day. Back at home. Just gotta quickly run in the house, grab my keys. I'm gonna head back to the studio. But first, I gotta get coffee. Back at the studio, and a lot of you are probably asking, what kind of system do I need to run Microsoft's mixed reality? Well, there's two ways to do this. You can do the regular way, which only requires, let's say, an Ultrabook with an Intel i5 7th generation processor, and you can even use the integrated Intel GPU. And that will give you like a regular, normal experience. So you can talk to your friends, you can be in a virtual world, and you can only have 3 applications open at the same time, and the resolution won't be as great. But if you have a more powerful system with, let's say, a GTX 1060 or a 1070 or even a 1080, the resolution is going to be at its highest. You can have more than 3 applications open at the same time, and you can go ahead and play some pretty crazy games. I got to experience the Ultra version, but I like the fact that it's available to most people out there and that they don't need a crazy computer system to make all of this happen. So this is what Microsoft's virtual world looks like. Imagine if someone gave you $50 million and they said, hey, you know what? Take this money and build your dream home. And in that dream home, you build yourself a theater room, a gaming room, an area outside so you can stare at the stars, a workout room, and an office so you can get work done. That's what the Cliff House is all about. It's a very familiar, comfortable area that you're put into to allow you to do some of the cool things you want to do in a virtual world. The first thing that I got to try out was gaming. And one of the demos that I tried out was from Halo. Basically, you get this gun, Cortana assists you, and you can shoot targets on the screen. The latency was okay. It wasn't perfect. I think hardcore gamers would be like, yo bro, the latency is like not low enough. I can't do this. But like casual gamers, myself, didn't find that to be a big deal. It was fairly accurate. It was just a little bit of latency, and that's more to do so with Bluetooth and it not being the fastest protocol to use for that type of stuff. But totally fine for casual gaming. I also tried a really cool game called Skyworld. You're basically put into this world. You have this huge RPG map around you. Think Warcraft meets Hearthstone. So you get these cards, and with these cards, you can do different things on the battlefield. So I can put these crazy big planes or implement soldiers to take out my enemies. But the neat thing is you can zoom up all the way into the battle and be part of it. So it's really, really immersive, much more than any game you can look at on a computer screen. There's a lot of demos to try out, not a lot of crazy hardcore games. I think it's going to take a while for developers to really implement really powerful games, but I do know Microsoft is releasing a Halo game for virtual reality, so I definitely want to check that out. The next thing we did was watch 360-degree videos, and we did this with Microsoft videos, not the ones from YouTube. The biggest difference was that the way they were filmed. With YouTube videos, when you look around, it's not stitched perfectly, but with this one, everything was stitched perfectly and the environment moved with you. Also, one thing that I noticed is when I looked down, I didn't see a camera platform. I just saw more of what I was looking at, which was a nice touch. The third thing we tried was more productivity based. So for those of you who want to browse the web or do some work, you go into this area and you can resize objects, you can resize your web browser, you can browse the web, you can watch Netflix, you can scroll. The only downfall is this typing. I'd find it very hard to get work done in a virtual world until you can type comfortably in that virtual world. You can't have a keyboard inside of there, you have to use a virtual keyboard, so you have to like tap the screen, but you can hook up a physical keyboard to the laptop, but it does require you to know exactly where those keys are. You can pin those browser tabs anywhere you want in your house, and because your virtual world is big as you want to make it, you can essentially have 5 tabs in front of you and be able to see them all at the same time. Whereas if you were to do this on a 13-inch laptop, you'd have to go back and forth between different tabs. There's also a hologram section where you can create these 3D applications or these 3D objects, bring them into your virtual world, and they can teach you something. The one I got to demo was a guy teaching me how to do clean and presses, which by the way, I'm not very good at. And the last thing I got to try was watching a movie. Now, each lens is 1440p, which is much higher than the lenses you're used to on your mobile phone and using the Gear VR because you have to split a QHD screen, so the resolution is not as high. Now, it's not perfect either. It's not like watching a 4K display, but it's significantly better than watching it on your mobile phone. I got to watch a demo of Wonder Woman, and the cool thing is you're put into this crazy theater room that feels so big, and you can adjust the size of the display. So if I just want a small little display in front of me, I can do that. Or maybe I want to have a web browser open on one section and watch a movie at the same time. You can traverse through the house wherever you want. You don't feel like you're stuck in one location. You always have somewhere to go. And the last thing I tried was more educational. Visiting Machu Picchu on a blimp, being able to see the scenery, be part of their temples, be in there. I get to see other people walking around. I can imagine my kids loving this, being able to explore new places in the universe without having to buy a plane ticket. There's also a lot of cute, fun little animations and games that they can experience and learn to enjoy. I see this being a big deal for gaming, for productivity, and of course for educational use. But it's such a good compromise between mobile virtual reality and the more expensive versions like from HTC or Oculus Rift. You get some of the mobility of using the simple solutions like your smartphone, and you get some of the graphical power that you get on more expensive solutions without having to set up sensors all around your room. So what do you guys think of Microsoft's mixed reality? Let me know in the comments down below. Again, thank you Microsoft for having me out. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. It's free, and I'll see everybody in the next video.